Okay, so look, guys, we are 2 hours in, but maybe we can go another 15 minutes. Is that okay with you guys? Maybe. Oh, what happened? Did our internet go? Okay. Are you with me? Oh, Baruch Hashem. I thought my internet died. Hallelujah. Or,
Yes, we're also
okay,
here.
is it okay if maybe we go another 10, 15 minutes? We just finish up this page? And then maybe later in the week we can do the
Yes.
rest of the first two. Okay. Okay, so let's look here. You see my pointer? Verse 8. Nilareha, Herval, Yasara, Reha, Asher, Asara, Anasha, Yakum. Okay, great. Verse 9. Maybe I'll just read verse 9 in the interest of time. If it's okay with you guys. Unless someone's dying to read. Yeah, verse 9. Ve'im b'yom shemo'a isha yani otah v'hefer et nidrach asher aleha ve'et mifta sifateha. That was that idiom we had. Asher asara al nafsha v'adonai yislach lah. All right. So ve'im b'yom shemo'a. What's that mean?
And if in the day her husband hears.
Good. Okay, sorry, my slides advanced again. Go back. There we go. And if in the day her man, her husband, Shomo'ah, hears, Yania Ota. What's that? Yani Ota. What's that one?
From no.
Yep.
The root word yani.
Yes. He annuls it, right? Or annuls. It could be referring to her or to the Shavua, right? Okay. Ve'hefer. Okay, you guys know hefer? The verb is actually, it's a geminate. Yeah, it's a geminate. Parar. Parar is the verb. Yeah? Parar?
It's verb break. Rabbi,
Yes, break. Parar means to break. This is the hefil. So we have the hey, and it's hard to recognize if you're not used to geminates. That's advanced. That'll be in your advanced class, guys. So geminates are verbs which have a double letter in the root. Oftentimes the double letter goes bye-bye. So here it's gone bye-bye. We have the hey, and then instead of having yod here, remember I showed you the yod can come down and lengthen the hirik to be a tsere, and that's what's happening. Okay? So we still have the hefil point. So, and he shall cause to break, you could say, right? This word is used with breaking his Torah, for example, right? But in this case, it's not the Torah, it's et nidrach. What's that?
No, her vow.
Her vow. Asher aleha.
Which
upon
Yeah,
her.
very good. Which is upon her, which is on her. Okay. Ve'et mifta sipateha.
and rash
Yeah, very
of her
good.
lip.
Very good.
Of her lips. Rash.
Yeah, good. The rash utterance of her lips, right? Something like that. The thing she uttered out, right? In the moment of the emotion. Asher, asara.
which she binds
Yes.
upon herself.
Yes. Very good. Okay. And then what do we have? Al nafsha. What's that?
Upon herself.
Yep, good. Upon herself, upon her life, etc. Okay. And then finally, Badana Yislach Lah. What's that?
And Adonai.
Then Adonai will forgive her.
Emphasizing Adonai.
Yes. Very good. Yay. Okay. So, let's see. What was I going to share here? Yeah, that's good. I think that's good. Okay. Any questions or comments about this? This might be a good stopping place for today, actually. Before I get into the next slide.
Uh, can I have a question
Sure.
on the one remote lesson we had regarding? I was still wondering about. I have two questions. Number one is I was wondering about when Moshe struck the rock, and Hashem said, "You did not sanctify my name." So, is it the action of the anger of Moses that did not sanctify, or what exactly Moses did that made Hashem to say that you'll not enter because you did not sanctify my
So it
name?
seems to me that anger was part of it, but more so was what didn't happen, right? The very act of simply uttering speech in the name of the Lord to have an effect, water suddenly gushes out. Imagine the impact on the people, right? Versus taking a physical action, banging on the rock, right? You're physically interacting with it, right? Angry or not, it's a different kind of instruction, isn't it? To simply by the power of the word, right? And of course, we have this theme that echoes all throughout Torah, all the way to the days of Yeshua, right? Memra, the word of the Lord, Debura, the Hadavar, etc., etc., etc. So it seems like on many levels, Moshe deprived the people of witnessing a miracle on a level that Hashem wanted to show them. Just speaking, and it happens. The power of speech in the name of the Lord from His servant in His service. To bang on the rock already, it's like it makes it become, instead of a metaphysical thing, you could almost justify, well, maybe there's water inside already, and he broke off the piece by banging on it, right? Because think, if the community's watching, there's millions of people. Who can see really, right? There's a few that can see in the front, and they can report back, oh, he hit the rock, he hit it, and now there's water coming out. So everybody in the back, the vast majority of Bnei Israel have to imagine what happened. And so think what that does. It lessens the miracle. I think it cheapens it. This is just my opinion. I think it cheapens the miracle. It could be about anger, like you said, but I think really it's also important the fact that he acted, he didn't obey, right? It's in disobedience. And Hashem had this plan. He wanted them to see the power of speech doing it this time, right? It's more than before. There's no more banging this time. It's just power of speech. Yeah. What do you think? Is that okay?
Yeah. Last
May I?
question. What is the may I have my last question? What is the boundary between zeal, which we talked about yesterday, and fanaticism?
Yeah, this is difficult. Yeah. I think the boundary line for us today can be, if I do this thing, will it sanctify His name? Right? It's connected almost to what you're asking about Moshe. Like, so for example, if I go and I blow up this idol, okay, and nobody gets hurt, will it sanctify His name, or will it further reinforce the knowledge and all the atheists? Oh, look at the crazy religious people, what they do, right? Will it actually become a chilul Hashem? We live in different times, right, than in the time of Pinchas, right, and his action, right? I mean, in those days, yeah, great, it was zeal, he carried it out, etc., etc. But today, the same kind of action could backfire, and it could actually make God's people and Himself look bad, right? It could actually cause a chilul Hashem. If I go around with baseball bats smashing idols, property damage, that thing was made out of gold, that was my great grandfather, it all gets convoluted. And so I think really the boundary definer is to ask ourselves, will this actually be a Kiddush Hashem, or will it be a Chilul Hashem? Right? And I think that can help us to figure out today how it will be perceived widely. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, sure. It's a good question. It's tough, right? It's tough, especially with all the crazy, suicide bombers. Okay, someone else had a question. I think it was Bessie I heard, or comment.
No, not
I
me.
was the one.
Okay, go ahead.
I was the
Okay,
one.
go.
I also about Moshe striking the rock.
Yeah.
I think it's Hashem wanted to show grace to the people, but Moshe got mad. So it's like you are not, unlike David, when Hashem is mad, David would follow to the letter what God would instruct him. And this one, it's like I'm already showing grace, but you showed your anger, you showed your impatience, you rebelled, and it's against Hashem's character that moment.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes complete sense to me. Yeah, it could very well be. It could very well be. The way it's perceived by the people because of his anger, right? Or we can even connect the things. Because of his anger, he ends up striking. I mean, couldn't he be angry and shout at it? I mean, he could have shouted, right? If he shouted at it and was angry, would he have been deprived from the promised land? What do you think? If he said, "Give forth water, I command you in the name of Hashem," would he be punished for that?
I think so.
Do you think he'd be punished still?
I heard a midrash that says that the reason why Moshe was not able to enter the promised land was because Hashem, the many Israelites who were buried there because of their disobedience, they died in the desert and they were buried there.
Yeah.
Since Moshe is the leader, the Lord said that you should be left behind because you were their leader.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just encountered that in one of the studies.
Right. I know.
So it's like Hashem still had the favor upon those who sinned against him and left Moshe there being the leader. You were the one who led them, so you should be with them.
Right.
Something like that.
Right. That makes sense. In a way, it's we have the harsher judgment, right? I mean, for a prophet, he's a prophet, right? Like no other. I mean, we have some various traditions that parse this a little bit. Like Gersonides, he thinks that really what happened was the first. Remember, he hits it twice, right? So the first time nothing happens, it's like Hashem is extending mercy to Moshe, right? He's giving him a chance to think about what he's doing. Are you sure this is the course of action you want to take? Right? Like a lot of us, when we get into anger, you can start off angry, and then you can kind of like notice what you're doing and pull yourself back. Like, whoa, wait, I don't want to be this train wreck, right? I want to be in control, right? So Gersonides' opinion is that the first strike on the rock, Hashem didn't punish him for it, right? He's giving him a chance to think about it. Look, there's no water, right? The second strike, that's it. He sealed his fate. And that part of the sin was that, although Gersonides doesn't spell it out this way, I think he's hinting about it, that in a way, Moshe forced God's hand. He forced him, right? So even though he's not doing it the way God wanted, for the sake of sparing his prophets and making it a worse profaning of his name, of God's reputation, right? Because the people don't know that this isn't what God told Moshe to do, right? So it kind of forced God to go ahead and let the water come, even though Moshe disobeyed him, right? And so that, in and of itself, was almost worse than the anger and the striking, all that stuff. The fact that he's forcing God to do something almost, right? So that it's not, because God doesn't want his name profaned. And so God acts to cover up the position that Moshe put him in, you see? It's kind of like, in my opinion, it's like a little bit related to do not put your God to the test, right? It's almost like forcing him, right? You're forcing him to do this. So there's a whole nother level of evil fallout from what Moshe is doing there. Yeah.
Rabbi, can I ask? Can
Sure,
I,
sure.
can I
Sure,
comment
please.
about that? So regarding the numbers 20, so the command was to take the rod, the matay,
Yes.
and then assemble by kahel
Yeah.
the people and speak to the sela,
Yes.
to the
Yeah.
rock. So I observed when I read this passage, every time that Adonai commanded to Moshe, he did. Kekol asher siva Adonai. Everything Moses he do according to the commandment of Adonai. But here the command was to speak to the rock.
Yeah.
But Moshe was speaking to the people who is hard-headed, who is he's speaking to the rock, he's speaking to that rock person, not the rock itself. Maybe because Adonai want Moshe to exercise the power of lifting the rod.
Yeah.
So the power of Hashem by speaking. So maybe Hashem wants to demonstrate his power through Moshe so that the people will believe Moshe and the power of Hashem.
Yeah.
But sadly, Moses did not believe.
Yeah.
And then that's why
Lo
Adonai
hemida,
said,
right? Yeah.
because you didn't believe. Because you didn't believe.
Yep.
Amin.
Yep.
Eman, emuna, no? Then you did not sanctify me. So it means when you believe, it means you do according to what Adonai said.
Yeah.
So, like for example, when you believe God, you sanctify God by observing Shabbat.
Yes.
See the connection? You sanctify to do.
Yep.
So everything that God commanded or Hashem, we need to execute No adding, no subtracting. Just do according to all that Hashem did to us.
Amen.
Just like Noah. Rabbi Ted.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Can I add,
Sure.
can I add that,
Sure. Jump in.
Rabbi? Concerning about Moshe, yeah. We know that the character of Moshe, there's a character of Moshe, uh, like Jephthah, Rash Bow,
Yeah.
no? There's that kind of that's a personality. That's a kind of a Rash Bow. You know, Moshe before that, you know that Moshe had killed an Egyptian,
Right.
and he went out from Egypt. So that's the personality of Moshe. That's his weakness. That it turns into like to make a decision right away. Yeah.
Could be.
Okay,
Yeah,
Rabbi.
could be. Like the Hulk. It could be. Well, also with his slaying the Egyptian,
Yeah.
we have a midrash that tells us because he was a military man. He actually served the Pharaoh by tradition. He served the Pharaoh as a general, right? And so he was well trained in combat and all these sorts of things. And so, really, he could have restrained himself. It's kind of like in the West, if you're a martial artist and you have a second degree black belt or higher, you have to register your hands as lethal weapons with the authorities. Well, it's recommended. That way, if you kill someone with your bare hands, it's as if you used a gun, right? Because the training you have, et cetera, et cetera. So there's like a higher level of restraint that Moshe needed to exhibit in that fight, right? Because he's so capable of killing someone in battle, trained in the palace, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, very interesting stuff. Good talk, guys. I like it. Let's go ahead and finish here. We are at 6:18, and if we have time this week, we'll try to sneak in the rest of the Aliya. Maybe I'll do it without you guys. Maybe I can include you, but either way, we'll upload it. Right now, uploading is the Haftarah from Shabbat. It's uploading, and YouTube's processing it. So within an hour or two, it should be available for anyone who missed that or wants to see that. Okay. Okay, so maybe go back through the Aliya if you like, or one of the other ones this week, and just keep studying your grammar and your vocab, reinforcing it all. I hope you guys enjoyed, and God bless you all. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Hold on.
Thank you, Sal.